Sound resumed.
Oh yeah, boys and girls! We are live from ECR Studios here in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to tell you where it is because you guys might come knock on my door. This is ECR Race Hub Episode 2. That's right, Episode 2. We promised that we were going to do this shit weekly, and I was traveling, so we could not do it last week. So my bad, but here we are once again, starting this around close to midnight so we can use whatever type of language we want, and no mothers were going to come after us except Wallace's mom. But this is why we're here.
I knew that was coming.
I am joined tonight by my partners in crime, driver of the number 3, Johnny Jazz Hands, also known as Corey Chaffin, the 87, Mr. Jim Beam himself, our league president Anthony Titchener, driver of the number 21 in our Xfinity Series, the blind baby, him, Sean Lodison, and 2 more guests, very special guests. Our driver of the number 24, he is the Kool-Aid man, Mr. Joshua Wallace, and the driver of the 97, he's a team owner. He's also a driver in the Xfinity, driver in the trucks, driver in Cup. He was a winner in Kentucky. He is the 97, the forgotten weenies. I don't know how to say this shit. How do I say this shit? I don't even know how to say it.
Forgotten weenies? The weenus.
Alright, there you go. Mr. Stephen Massey.
The blind baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the ECR Studios. This is ECR Hub. How is everybody?
Thanks for having us, Luis. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, bud. Thanks for being here. Well, gentlemen, we have a lot of topics to cover. We have very serious and very non-serious subjects to talk about tonight. So, what are we going to start with? Anthony, good evening. Welcome again. What are we going to talk tonight?
Oh, man, we got a whole list of lineup of stuff here to talk about tonight, man. It's definitely going to be a real good night here. So, buckle down, because it's definitely going to be no holds barred. You can send your complaints to the grenade department, pull the pin, and wait for a reply after the show. We don't mind. But, I mean, starting off, I guess we could talk about this race today, Pocono, man. Matt Kenseth pulling off the win. I know we had a lot of guys. I mean, we got some junior fans here, myself included. We got some Gordon fans. I doubt we have any Kenseth fans. Busch fans, maybe?
Yeah.
I am a Busch fan. I am. He's one of my top 3 drivers.
Let's talk about my man, Brad Keselowski.
Horse face! Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a Kurt Busch fan.
No, man, I don't know what they're doing down at Gibbs Racing, but those cars are illegal, man. I don't know how they're pulling this shit off. Unless NASCAR is just looking at that and saying, you know what, we needed someone else to win apart from Hendricks and Jimmy Johnson, so let's just allow them to do some crazy shit.
Ever since Kentucky, they turned it around.
Well, ever since NASCAR mixed with the rules package, that's when the whole thing flipped. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're working on they just found lightning in the bottle. They just got this is what we need to do.
George Sparks is going nuts, dude. Matt Kenseth, his favorite driver, man. So he's partying.
Speaking of rules package, Kyle Busch, it doesn't matter what the rules package is. He's done good in 3 separate rules packages, and one with 3 different rules packages in the last 5 starts.
The thing about him is I think he's peaking too soon. He'll fall off eventually.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. I saw up until the middle of the race, and it was unbelievable how. I think the whole thing is going to come down to whoever Gibbs has in the Final 4, which I think right now it's every driver because everybody got to win. Both Penske cars, and whoever can come out of the Hendricks camp, either I don't think Gordon can do anything. I'm sorry, Wallace. I know he's your guy, but I think he is way, way behind unless he has one of those seasons like Tony Stewart had a couple years ago where he just barely made it in the chase and then he won everything. Which I think is very unlikely, but it can happen, right?
Well,
I don't know.
I think Hendrick is down all around. They're just not as fast as the other competition. Even Jimmy Johnson, he's got 4 wins, but he didn't really dominate in any of them.
I mean, I would disagree with that, because if you saw Jeff Gordon and Junior today, Junior was 37th at one point, a lap down, and we saw him get away from the field there for a bit, hoping for a caution. You know, they do have the power. It's just being in the right spot. Who would have thought it was going to come down to fuel mileage? I mean, this track has done it before so many different ways. Joey Logano won it under rain before, so there's so many different ways people can win it, and you only think about, we're running at Pocono this week in the Cup Series. Do you think it's going to come down to the same thing? Maybe a new winner strategy?
I believe it's very possible. This track's really big. Guys get spread out. I mean, it's very possible we can have a completely 100% green flag run the whole race, and I mean, it very well could come down to fuel strategy. It did at Indy and Xfinity, so I mean,
that was a fun race. Oh, it was for Anthony.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened at ECR this past week, running both Xfinity races and Cup Series at Indianapolis. We had 2 awesome races, one being decided by a very gutsy strategy that I can say like 6 to 7 guys tried to pull it off, and just a couple of them were able to pull it off at the end. Everybody else ran out of fuel, and we had, I'm not going to say boring race because he didn't make it easy on everybody, but we had the number 1, John Schweikert, dominating the ECR Cup race. He led 89 laps of 96, I think. So behind him, everybody was fighting for position. We had an awesome race, but the one just kind of pulled one out of the hat, and he had the dominant card. And we also had one, probably in my opinion, because I was doing race control, probably the best race of the year in my opinion at ECR was this past Wednesday, our Truck Series presented by Inside the Hauler at Kansas. At night, that was a display of how well this entire field can drive, because we had for 96 laps, I think, 90 laps, something like that, we had 2 wides, 3 wides, 4 wides. We had guys entering the turn on the high side, coming out of the turn on the bottom, passing 2-3 guys in the middle. We had wrecks, we had overtakes, we had guys fighting for position with 20 laps to go, like door to door, and every little thing that you can possibly think about in a good race, we had it. So, and to top it all off, we had a rookie winner, a guy starting his 3rd race with us, Ronnie Norman, coming in, signing. He was signed that week, if I'm not mistaken, but to run for Haters Make Us Famous on a move, on a trading guys, signing guys, on a week that happened everything. And he pulled off a win, being patient. He was in 3rd. He waited for a huge dispute that our man Stephen Massey was involved here. He can talk about it a little bit later, but this was awesome. It was an awesome week for us, and I think Pocono, if every driver can be on top of their game and act and behave exactly like they did in Indianapolis, this is going to be one for the ages, man, because it's wide track, fast track, overtaking spots. Guys can make mistakes, and a caution may not come out because the track is still wide, has areas so you can get out of the track and not come back. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But let's do this so we can keep with the topics. Let's go back to our Indianapolis week and just review a little bit, talk a little bit about our winners. So just so everybody at home who doesn't know who won our races, I'm going to show it to you. So this past week we had 3 winners. We had Anthony Titchener, our number 87, Mr. Gene Beam Man himself, winning Monday night the Xfinity race. We had John Schweiker in the number 1, sponsored by the Marines, winning the Cup race Tuesday night. And at Kansas, Ronnie Norman, sponsored by the Microsoft, driver of the 63 truck, he won a very tight, very close race at Kansas. So, Anthony, I'll start with you. Since you won Monday night, tell us a little bit about that race and the thought process about the strategy, because you were top 5 the entire night, not had the fastest car in ring lap situations, but talk about a little bit about the thought process of not pitting, staying out, pulling a fuel strategy that almost cost you the win because you ran out of fuel crossing the line, but you were able to pull off a win that got you now only 6 points behind Colin for our point series leader. So talk to us a little bit about how that race was.
Well, it was one of them races that I went into thinking, all right, I'm just going to try to get the best finish I can, and I want to try to beat Colin, but he was faster than me all week. He was real good in practice, so I wasn't the fastest in practice. I hadn't qualified that great, and I just wanted to get a good finish. We got a lot of rough tracks coming up here for me. These road courses this month, August, is going to be real rough. We follow the same schedule as Xfinity Series, so that, all these tracks that are coming up are rough for me, and I'm just hoping to get the best finish I can. And getting a win at Indy just tops it, because it's one of them tracks that I struggle at myself. And coming down to fuel strategy there, just trying to make the right call. I knew I wasn't going to win it on speed, so when it came time, me and AJ were talking, and he made the decision to pit. I stayed out, and I was 1 lap short. Well, knowing that I was 1 lap short, I had a whole fuel run to try to save it. I had to make up 6 seconds on Colin at the same time of trying to do that. So I made up the 6 seconds. Made the pass inside 10 to go. Had the lead, and he would stay right on me. So it was just a matter of trying to play cat and mouse again, kind of like they did tonight. Just trying to keep the lead. And he announced on the last lap, it was in 4, going in 4 there, he announced he was out of gas. He was like, good win, bud. And that's when I was like, hell yeah. And then coming out of 4, man, coming down the straightaway, I ran out of gas. So didn't get to do a burnout or anything, but I did run out of gas, and it was a fun race. It was one of them races where you just had to be up front. You had to qualify. You couldn't start in the back because you just didn't have a chance. There wasn't enough cautions. We expected a lot of cautions, but there wasn't that many. And just some good racing, man. A lot of good competition.
Yeah, talking about competition, 2 of our guys here, Sean, Joshua, what were you guys thinking? You guys came together in the final stretch, basically knocking each other out of the race. What the hell happened between you two? I don't know who wants to go first in this one, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have, he wrecked me. No, he wrecked me.
Let's start with Sean.
I'll start it off here. With about the last lap to go, I passed, or about 4 or 5 laps before the last lap, I passed Wallace for 10th place, I believe. And I pulled out to like a 3-4 second lead past him, and then we got to the final lap where we had a couple of cars out of gas down low, and I was coming into 4, and one of them cars decided to pop up in front of me. I kind of hit him, which ruined my car a lot. And then I saw Wallace come up behind me about 300 feet before I started finish line, and I said, well, there's no way in hell I'm going to let him pass me, so I rammed him into the wall. Then we went crashing past the start-finish line. Yeah. As my great friend AJ Scarborough would say, no fucks given on the last lap. So that's the mentality I went with. It worked out for me. I finished in 10th in front of Caitlin. But yeah, I mean, it was a good race for me.
Well, did you think he was going to put you in the wall?
Well, okay, when we were going to the front stretch, he's like giving me a little lane to the top, so I was like, well, let me try to fit it in there, and then he just shoves me right in the wall. So then I just push him down the straightaway, and then both crash there at the end, and he gets 10th. I lose 2 spots.
It was all strategy.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, it happened. So the problem, I was doing race control that night. For me, it was one hell of a race. It was very, very entertaining to call. See everybody fighting for position, seeing everybody doing great. And we had only one cautions brought to us by our very own Stephen Massey, who managed to pull off a caution in every race this week. So that requires skill. So.
Wait, can I ask Anthony something?
What's up?
I only caused one caution this week.
You didn't cause one? Oh, you didn't cause one in Cup. You spun out in Cup. That's right.
So, Anthony, how hard is it saving fuel when you're in second? See that guy in front, and you know he might be short too, because Kyle Busch today ran out of fuel. He's down Joey Logano.
Yeah, two things you definitely want to pay attention to is the time that you run. Throughout the run, you know what you're running when you're giving it your all, right? So one thing you want to pay attention to is what can you do to run near that time while saving gas, because you don't want to lose a lot of time. The guys that are the fastest are the guys that can run near those times and save gas. The way I do that is I back it up a little bit more to where I don't have to use the brake. I can just let off the gas a little bit earlier, and then when I get back in the gas, I wouldn't get back in all the way. I would get in halfway, and then I would get back into it full throttle coming out of the turns to pick up speed, but come back off of about 5%. So just doing that throughout the whole run only gained me 1 lap, but 1 lap was all I needed, and that's 2.5 miles at Indy, so that's a lot. You know, that would have saved me a couple laps at any other track. So it's things like that, and you also have to keep in mind, what is Colin doing? He's the leader. Is he saving fuel? Is he going for it hard? I mean, I noticed I was getting closer, so obviously I'm saving, he's saving. That also helps me know how much I need to save. If I'm catching him, I can start to save a little bit more. Alright, so it's a cat and mouse game.
Info.
Well, we're going from Indianapolis to Iowa this week. Completely different thing. We had probably one of the craziest finishes we had this year back in Iowa in the Xfinity race this season, where we had guys crashing with 100 yards to the line. So what do you guys think we're going to see this next Monday night? Tight, short track racing. We saw the real race going with 2 tries on green-white checkers. We're racing at night, so that gives a lot more grip than the previous race that was a day race. But do you guys think everything that we saw at Indy, of guys using a lot of control, being able to put the car in a good position, not wrecking, keeping to 1 caution, if that thing's going to be a repeat, or this week we're going to see a complete shit show of crashes, 10+ cautions, EOLs to give half the field pause? What do you think is going to do? What's going to happen?
I don't ever think that we're going to be wrecking every week. I mean, I think our guys are good enough that we'll come prepared. We give enough practice. Yeah. That's y'all's opinion.
Yeah, I think the complete opposite. I mean, when we get to these short tracks, we tend to have a lot more cautions for whatever reason. I won't say we'll have 10, but I think we'll have somewhere in the 7 to 8 range come Monday night.
I see a lot of tempers.
So over and under of 10 cautions, we have 1. Chaffin saying we're going to have less than 10.
Say 5.
Less than 10. Wallace.
Under.
Under. Sean?
Under.
Steven?
Over.
I'm with Steven.
I meant to say under.
So I'm the lone wolf. I'm going to say over.
I changed it back to over. Sorry.
No, the one question is Luis racing that race?
Who?
Are you racing that race?
I don't know, because if I'm racing...
Well, that's gonna put me over or under. I gotta know if you're racing.
Oh, there you go.
He did win.
There you go. I won the last one, fucker. See?
Hey, I wasn't there for the last one, so I'm just guessing.
The only reason I say over is because if you look at even the professionals in real life, they had just about that many cautions themselves. Yeah. So, I mean, no discredit to the guys at ECR, because we raced with a bunch of good guys.
Well, I think this is going to be one of the first repeat races that we have this year. I don't know if we already had a repeat on the same track.
No, I don't think so.
So I think this is going to put a couple of guys on the edge especially guys that almost got a win last time or had good cars and were battling for the front. So Matthew Turnhorst, Justin Bland, Colin Fern, even Anthony that got taken out and was a top 5 car at that time, and then guys that got wins in the past weeks here. John Schweiker, Stephen Hollinsworth, Stephen Massey that got what 2 second places in the past 5 races. So you're right there.
Something like
so,
that.
It's gonna be anybody's race. I think if guys are gonna be as aggressive as they want, as they can be, and we know that our drivers can be aggressive, it's gonna come down who is alive at the end of the race. So.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, that's why I say this year is going to go 10 cautions plus. So it's going to be one of those races that a lot of guys are going to get nervous. A lot of guys are going to get frustrated, especially if something like, oh, he crashed me. And the mics are going to be like a lot of things are going to come up that we as admins are going to have to talk about probably. So
yeah, Luis, the talk on Twitter, there's been quite a bit of talk about someone will remember in the last race they had here, so we might see some action.
Yeah, we had guys calling each other off. I saw that one going around, so we already have guys saying, oh, you're not going to crash me again. The other one saying, well, if you were not as slow, I was never going to crash you. So we never know.
He's not wrong.
Well, I think guys can crash whenever they want as long as they don't take me with them and I can win the race. So if everything,
I agree. I like that motto.
So if everything happens according to plan, whoever's in my shoes this time, hopefully it's going to be one of you guys. Everybody's going to come home happy. So
we got 3 different tracks this week. We got an Iowa Xfinity Series. The trucks are at Charlotte for us because we started late for the trucks, but Cup is at Pocono. So it's 3 different tracks. You might get 3 different results, 3 different races, and you could fully expect that.
Yeah, short track, 1.5 miles, and a triangle.
A tricky triangle.
Yeah.
So, well,
Is Thunder Horse Racing Iowa?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out Monday night.
He was calling out Justin Bland, so I'm assuming that he's going to be there in somebody's car.
There you go.
Is driving for Red Line Motorsports. Just saying.
Oh boy, there you go. So
we got our points leaders. You know, we can look forward to having good races probably in all those races. You know, we can. And if you guys want to talk about them guys right now, the next subject I had lined up was the points.
Yeah, just so we can run through what we have here. Colin Fern still leads. So my bad, I was pulling up the spreadsheet. We just got word, breaking news for ECR here at the hub. So our insider, our supplier of information, the driver owner of the 25, Nick Olsen, just confirmed to us here that yes, Matthew is going to be driving. So we are going to have a battle, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what number Matthew runs. The 6.
Yeah,
6. Matthew Turnhorst versus the 65 of Justin Bland. The repeat, the Rumble at Iowa is going to come down Monday night. So if you're not doing anything, come watch our race. Join us because they're going to take each other out. Probably going to take Colin with them. Guys, whoever is in 4th place, you're going to win. Trust me, it happened before. So
hey, that's a good advice.
There you go.
Evasive driving is needed at Iowa.
Yes. So whatever you do, don't follow the high line. Go to the bottom, and you might win. So just saying.
That's good for Anthony, too. It takes out Colin.
There you go. So, talking about Colin, he still leads our Xfinity Series. He right now has 638 points, followed by Anthony here, 6 points back. Steven, you are in 3rd, with Nathan Casillas in 4th, AJ Scarborough 5th, Kevin Cook 6th, Wallace in 7th, Matthew Turnhorn still 8th, I'm still 9th for some reason. And rounding up the top 10, we have Caleb Thomas. So, Anthony closing in on Colin, with Steven lurking behind. As soon as he starts getting some wins, he's going to join this battle. We have enough races. And now, we had a trade this week in the Xfinity Series. Our 4th place in the championship, Nathan, is now driving for a new team, right, Anthony?
Yes, sir. We traded. We talked to the points leader there, Colin Fern, and he came up to me with the deal, and he wanted to sell his car. And I said, I don't really need another driver in a car because I have too many, but I'll trade you. And I offered him John, which was one of our new drivers, and I had already been helping out Nathan for a little bit anyway. He came to me a while back, so helping him out a lot, I figured why not? Good opportunity to try to improve his results, and that's what we're going to try to do. So we made the trade happen, John for Nathan, and I mean, that was it.
So you never know. He might be one of these guys together with Steven. If he starts getting some wins, everything can happen. He has 5 top 10s in the year. He has been there every race, has all 18 starts. So it might be that type of the year that everything comes together. So we'll have to see. Now, moving to our Cup Series. Anthony, you're the leader, 749 points. Followed by Kevin Cook, AJ Scarborough, Matthew Turnhorst, Rob Burns, Mark Figueroa, Chris Urquoy, Justin Bland, myself, Sean Madlin, Stephen Massey, Chuck Harrow, Corey Chaffin, Mike Kinner, Jeremy Rubin, and Matthew George. Right now, the top 16 in points.
Whoa, who's Mike?
That is Johnny Jazz Hands Mike. We apologize for that. He's probably practicing right now, so got a little bit closer to the mic. Are you good there, Johnny?
I didn't realize it was doing that, my bad.
There you go. There you go. Johnny got it all fixed.
Johnny, be good.
There you go. Well, guys, I think the thing that's going to really matter in Cup right now is not actually the points, but our race for the chase up until this point. So I'm going to pull here our situation right now, our chase grid as of right now. Anthony, you're in. You have 4 wins in the year, so you're good to go. Solid to start the chase. Matthew Turnhorst has 2 wins. He is clearly in. Mark Figueroa, he has 2 wins. He's in. Then we had Sean Madling with a win in Martinsville. Steven, you won at Kansas, so you're in. You're good. Johnny Jazz Hands, Corey Chaffin, he won at Talladega, so he's in. And then we have 2 guys that still need a couple more races, but they have a win, so they're in. Mike Kenner in the 74, he won at Michigan. And Colin Fern, he won at Kentucky. So all of these guys, as long as they complete at least 16 races, am I right?
13.
13 races to be in the chase.
13 starts, man. I mean, we try to make it like NASCAR. NASCAR's got top 30 in points. We did top 25 because we didn't expect 43 every week. So gotta have 13 starts, be top 25 in points, and obviously we'll take the winners are guaranteed a spot in the chase. And if we don't have 16 winners, then we'll go to the next highest guys in points that have the starts. If we don't have enough guys in points with the starts, then we move on to, you know, we fill in the gaps. But right now, looking good. We got enough guys right now. Half the chase is filled with winners. So again, we continue to have a bunch of new guys come in and just making it more and more competitive every single. We were talking about the rookie takeover before the show came up, and I know that's going to be a hot topic here. We got a bunch of rookies coming in and trying to get qualified for these races, and it's interesting.
Yeah, from the guys that don't have a win, that are in the chase right now, so listen up, guys. Don't stop racing. Keep going. Kevin Cook in the 45, he's the first guy without a win in the chase. AJ Scarborough in the 5. Chris Urquoy, Mr. Consistency in the 42. Rob Burns in the 12. Justin Bland in the 65. Myself in the 14. Chuck Harrow in the 88. And the newcomer to the list, Jeremy Rubin, the 34. Everybody in this list right now, we're in the chase because we have the starts and we are up there in points. So, like you were saying, Anthony, we have a lot of good guys that joined the league midway through the year, got wins, but they don't have the starts. So depending on what happened, so this is a message for all you guys that are in the chase right now and don't have a win. Guys, keep racing. Because if you don't have the necessary number of starts, you're not going to be in based on points. So you got to have the points and you need to have the starts. Otherwise, We're gonna go to the next man. It's gonna be next man up. So the same thing we can tell to the guys that joined the league right now. Keep racing, keep winning, keep getting points, because if one of these guys fail to start, you're the next man up. So this might come down to the last couple of races, depending on what happened with suspensions, because here at ECR we have suspensions for drivers midway through the year, depending on if the guy causes cautions, if something happens, he might not race, he may lose a race. We don't have we don't have everybody every race, so this is something that might happen.
You could cause 2 accidents and be out of it, you know. I mean, it can happen in the chase.
Yeah, just like myself at Kentucky, 2 EOLs before the lap 30 was in, and I was done. Missed that one, missed the next one, then had a personal thing the next one. So 3 races, 3 weeks in a row that I can throw in the garbage. So this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. And we had a road course, we had 2 road courses the next couple of weeks in the Xfinity Series. But we also have a road course in the Cup Series, not this week, but next week in Watkins Glen. So, who do you guys think? Because I'm not going to say Pocono right now. We're probably going to do predictions for later in the race. But based on what we saw at Sonoma, was our first road course race. Who do you guys think might be good picks? Guys that are going to do well at Watkins Glen and might pull a win out of the hat to get into the chase if they're not in the chase already.
Well, I don't think you can really compare the two completely. I mean, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, to me they drive a lot different than each other. I mean, they are road courses, but you know, they feel different. One's a little quicker than the other. But I don't know if he's going to be there. But if I had to put my money on any driver to win, that would be the driver of the number 4.
Caleb Thomas. There we go. So Caleb got quote-unquote one vote. Anthony, you don't like the road courses very much. It's not your cup of tea. But who do you think might pull one off in that one? Do you keep with Caleb that actually ran a couple of races for your team this year, or do you go a different direction?
Are we going with guys who don't have wins or guys who aren't in the chase locked by a win?
Pick 2. Pick one of each.
I mean, because I think that there's a guy who has a real good shot at locking himself in just with a win, and that would be Kevin Cook. He's good at these road courses, and if he could pull it off, I think that you know, these road courses you can't count him out at, but it does come down to them setups in the Cup Series and these rookies, John Schweikart, Stephen Hollingsworth, you know, Brian Wildison, Ken Worley. Them guys are real fast, so you can never count them guys out here as well.
Wallace, you run a couple races here and there. Who do you have your money on?
I gotta agree with Anthony. I like Kevin Cook. Really good at road courses. He's really good at Sonoma. Seems to know his way around the road courses pretty well.
Sean, you normally don't race the Cup Series, but you watch a couple of them. What do you think?
I haven't ran with many of these guys in the Cup cars, but after looking at the Sonoma, what happened at Sonoma, I'm leaning towards Stephen Hollingsworth. That's if he does race, but I mean, Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Sonoma's a lot more hillier than Watkins Glen, but you still got to turn left and right, and I think he can pull it off.
Steven, you're going to race both the Xfinity, so you're going to be racing Mid-Ohio, you're going to be racing Road America, and you're going to be racing at Watkins Glen. Give us a couple favorites.
Couple favorites to win, and someone to win that's not yet locked in the chase, but pretty much are by points, would obviously be Kevin Cook, in my opinion. And then another favorite to win, Colin Byrne. To be honest, he's just good everywhere, and maybe Matthew Thunhorst.
There you go. We're gonna have a couple of guys starting that race that never started a race, so it's gonna be interesting to see guys that never actually ran in a road course at the Cup level. So I never raced one, so Sonoma was my first one. But we had guys trying to make that particular race. So we had guys like Nick Olson that never went a road course. We had guys like Nick Gillis that loved the road courses, but never started a race. I think he started at Sonoma and had to quit very quickly. So that's going to be interesting to see how those guys do. Picking someone, that's going to be tricky. You know what? I'm going to go with Colin on this one. I think he had a pretty good car at Sonoma, and I've seen him driving a couple of other races at Watkins Glen. It's just one of those things that I don't know how he does it, because it seems so easy. And I see guys being fast, but I also see the amount of work that they put in, and it's annoying sometimes to see a guy just come in and be fast everywhere. So especially a guy that wasn't, especially guys that were not racing at the beginning of the season. So Colin was only running the Xfinity Series, and we had questions if he could be as competitive at Cup as he was in the Xfinity, and he's proving to be. So I think he's going to be one of the guys that are going to be fighting for that win. So we'll see what's going to come up. So, but there you guys seen. So if you guys had any doubts of who was in the chase grid, who was in the bubble, there you were. So everybody can now relax a little bit and see and start working back to that thing. So all right. I forgot what we're going to talk next.
Well, we got a few things we could talk about here, man. I do have some stats here that are pretty cool, and we looked them up, and because it was on my mind, and I think it's something that everybody would like to know, and maybe something that if these people know or not, they can look to improve on. But we got incidents, you know, and how many incidents guys have had, and we compared it. We looked at the points, so we saw guys with the most incidents, and we looked at guys with the least amount of incidents, and it was shocking. It was pretty interesting, actually, with the fines that we had. For the truck series, if we starting off with the truck series, we had our leader here, Corey Chaffin, with 37 in 4 starts. Douglas Hess in second with 36, and Wallace and Steven in third with 30 incidents. And we'll come back and talk about those in a second. Xfinity Series, Chuck Harrell leads that with 104 incidents and 16 starts. You got Wallace in second, 89 incidents and 17 starts. And you got Massey in third, Stephen Massey here, 88 incidents and 16 starts. And then when we looked in the Cup Series, we found that Sean Medley, who actually has a win and is locked in the chase, has 144 incidents and 17 starts.
That's impressive.
That is.
That's very impressive.
114 in second, and AJ Scarborough with 120.
Even that's impressive.
Starts. Guys, what do you think about that? And Chaffin, how do you feel about leading that, man? Are you honored or what?
I actually am pretty honored for the truck series to be leading that. I mean, you know, obviously, as I stated the other day, you know, I can't fight for a championship in the truck series. So I pretty much look at the truck series, you know, I'm going to, you know, try to learn a little bit, but at the same time, you know, I know we try not to go with this mentality within ECR because, you know, we don't, you know, don't look too highly on it, I guess. And, you know, pretty much with no fucks given, really, in the truck series.
Amen.
You know, if there's somebody in front of me and I'm obviously faster than them, you know, I do drive the number 3. I'm going to push them out.
Preach on.
So I asked that question then with the new rule package, where if you get in trouble in one series, it can carry over to all the series. How does that change things?
It will not change a thing for me in the truck series. If I'm faster than somebody and they won't let me go, I will not hesitate to put my bumper to them.
There you go, laying the law.
In true number 3 fashion.
Wallace.
He's trying
both of these lists here in the trucks and Xfinity, man, just hanging in there. You know, you haven't had a win yet. You're still struggling for a win. Not many top 5s or top 10s. So incidents may be a big thing here. What are we struggling?
Yeah, well, I'm starting to regret hiring you for my team based on this thing. So now that I know that you are the second highest incident number in the trucks, we might have to talk about that contract again, boy. So I might have to start charging you a little bit for incident points. So we'll talk later. We'll talk later.
I'm not happy about being on those lists at all. I do not want to be on hitting walls or driving in the grass or hitting other people. I don't like.
Why are your points that high, though, Wallace?
Yeah, well, why are they that high?
Involved in wrecks. There's a number of things.
Particular wrecks and trucks that have you so high in 4 races?
Well, I did T-bone 3-car lappers.
That might be a reason why the 3 car is leading.
Yeah, well, it could be.
It definitely didn't help me, considering my own owner come up the track when he should have hit the brakes a little bit to try to keep it down the track, and I had to use evasive maneuvers to try to miss him.
Well, but he know he's not going to give fucks given, so too.
Oh,
he knew. Yeah, you know. So.
It's over.
Yeah.
One of the things that does not surprise me, because we know that he is a very aggressive driver, is that Chuck is on this list. He's in the list in the Xfinity Series. So, but it's surprising that we see a guy that we know is aggressive being up there in the Xfinity Series leading the incidents, but he's not in the top 10 on the Cup side. So even though you can be very aggressive, so when we have the element of surprise of the setups taking out of the equation, and you can pretty much be as aggressive as you want because everybody has the same package, that's when you see who the really, really aggressive guys are. So
I will say a lot of these names, a lot of these names aren't on all week practicing and in the practice races. So I think a big problem may be just not getting enough practice. I don't see a lot of these names during the week, and one of the drivers who leads it the big time overall in the whole league with the most incidents doesn't even have the most starts. You know, he's missing 3 or 4 starts. So it's pretty shocking, and it's my driver, not to call him out, but it is Sean Medling, and I will back him up in saying that he doesn't get much of a chance to show up. So he does have a win. He showed up. He won at Martinsville with almost a wrecked vehicle. Pretty much everybody was wrecked there. So you look at that, and you look at that's pretty much the similar thing. Is these guys, if they're on to practice a little bit more, and maybe understand guys in traffic, that number might go down.
Yeah, these numbers that he has of incidents, they probably a bunch of them came from that Martinsville race, because he pretty much made his way through everybody to win that one, and he was the last man standing at that one. So
yeah, when you look at the guys with the least incidents, we looked at them with at least 15 starts or more in the Cup Series. You had Chris Sercoy and Matthew Thunhorst. Matthew Thunhorst had 47 incidents in 16 races. Chris Sercoy had 65 incidents in 19 races.
Yeah, that to me is the ultimate number, because we know and we joke about it, right? That we normally don't see Chris in a race, but that just shows you how race. How am I gonna say this? How his race awareness. He knows what he can do, what he cannot do. He knows exactly when he should be aggressive, when he should not be aggressive, where he's strong, where he's weak, where he should concern his car, when he should run for points, runs for positions, and that just shows. So he doesn't get in trouble. He gets the finishes, he gets the points. That's why he is in the chase right now. And based on what we've seen, this is not going to change. He has 8 top 10s. 8 top 10s in 19 starts. He has 1 top 5. So this just shows you this is the formula.
A lot of guys asked, remember it came up earlier, we had guys who were saying, well, we got guys who aren't never finishing on the lead lap or barely ever do. They're always getting lapped. They're never fast. But they're consistent. They show up every week, and they do try. And most of the time they do finish on the lead lap. And Chris Sercoy is getting better at that. And you look at guys who do cause a lot of incidents, and they get demoted. We have done that in the past with Caleb Sheets. He had 56 incidents in 4 races. So he got knocked down to the Xfinity Series. We got to maintain that. We got to look at things like that, and we have to control that.
And we're not calling anybody out, guys, so just so everybody knows, this is just us stating facts, telling what happened, what's in the stat sheet. So, but again, this is Elite Championship Racing. We expect guys to go for broke, to really drive their asses off, be competitive, and if they see an opening, we know that these guys are going to take it, because we don't have guys playing it safe all the time, and this is not what we want. So, and we know this is going to happen, but at the same time, you can see guys that know when to put their car in danger and when not. So that just shows the level of driving that we have up here, and this is why we're getting more and more recruits every week. More and more people just coming on saying, you know what, we want to race with you guys, because we know that everybody's fast and it's extremely hard to run up front. So that just shows the level of guys that we have here. So.
Anthony, would you care to tell us Caleb Sheets' incidents one more time with races in Cup? No, I'm gonna leave this on a good note.
Yes, 56 incidents, guys, in 4 races.
All right, now
56 and 4. That's more. That's an average of 13, 14 incidents per race.
How about this though? Down in Xfinity Series, he has 7 races and 53 incidents. There's quite the improvement there from Cup to Xfinity, I'd say.
I'd say he does better in that series.
Well, and that's one of the things that we try to do this year, or from the midway through the year. It was one of the changes that we did. My bad. Yep. I got interrupted. Yeah, my bad. One of the things that we did, not allowing guys just to jump to Cup. They're having to prove their way through trucks, Xfinity, and then going through an evaluation, and this is what we're looking at. Can you finish? Can you be consistent? Can you put everybody surround you in a safe position that you're racing, that you are aggressive, fast, and you're going to finish? If you can do all those things, you can race anywhere. If not, we're going to hold you in a couple series just to make sure that we don't have a problem, that you can learn, that you can be adjusting whatever it is that you need to adjust, learn from it, and then you're going to be good to go. So
we like to know the good things too, and one of those good things is the competition in this league of guys who continue to work hard every single week at it, but always come up short. And I got a little list here for each series for the guys with the most top 5s without a win. Starting with the truck series, you got the points leader, Ron Miller, drives for Haters Makes Famous, and he's leading in the points. He has 2 top 5s out of the 4 starts. Half his races have been top 5s. Xfinity Series, Stephen Massey here with 7 top 5s and 7 starts. Or sorry, not 7 starts. 7. How many starts is that?
16.
16
starts.
There you go. And then we got Justin Bland and AJ Scarborough tied for the Cup Series with 7. They both Haters Make Us Famous drivers who have been right there, just so close, just haven't pulled it off. So guys like that, man, who continue to show up every week, strive to try to get that win. Steven, if you want to speak on that, man, and what it's like, just the competition here, man, and what it's like to try to get a win.
It's pretty darn good competition. That's what it is. I mean, I kind of missed the subject there for a split second. Had a brain fart.
I was gonna say that he was emotional. No, he was just not paying attention to us. That's it's awesome.
It's completely normal. We're not worried about that.
Yeah, I was prepared, David. Anyways, yeah, the competition is extremely steep. The guys that are running up in the top 10 are guys that they sit there, they practice every single week. They put in the most time. They run the most laps in practice. And, I mean, you still see who keeps getting the wins. I mean, it's real hard to win. I mean, there's, what, 6, 7 different winners in Xfinity?
Pretty much.
And then you got the dominant 87 and 31. So, I mean,
we actually have 10 winners in Xfinity.
Yeah, so that's awesome, actually. I don't even believe Cup has that much in the actual NASCAR.
Yeah, and we continue to get rookies, man, who come in and win, and some of them aren't going to be eligible for the chase just because they came in so late. But you know, it's fun to have guys and adds to the competition. It makes us try to work harder. You know, anybody can try to get it. Fuel gain, fuel strategy, wrecks happen. Guys are taken out. It's racing. Anything can happen. And these guys who have all these top fives, eventually it's going to happen. Them top fives pay off. They turn into wins.
And speaking of the chase, we have Mike Kinner, who's in the chase with 1 win, but he only has 9 starts with about 6 races to go, I believe.
Yeah, he can do it. He needs to keep
13,
racing.
I do believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he needs to get 4 more races in the next 6 starts.
Well, talking about starting, adjusting, getting better every week, I don't know if he's here. Nick Olson, are you here? Can you hear us?
I am here.
Ah, there you go. There you go. So you can talk.
That password's way too easy.
Anthony, we have a security breach, so we might have to change this thing. So.
Hacker be arrested.
Well, Nick, you're a guy that can talk to everybody about joining not only ECR, but I'm not saying ECR because you've been a member of ECR for forever, but joining the season midway through the thing, having to get adjusted to not only Xfinity cars, Cup cars, different tracks, running and iRacing by itself, and having to progress not only inside the league, but inside the whole simulation to be able to practice, be able to get access to different things. How important for a driver, and you're one of the guys that are almost here every day. How important it's been to you putting up consistent practice, a lot of laps, learning, watching from different guys, looking at different lines. Does track time really made a difference for you now to be able to do it? Because now you're racing almost for top 5s every week, getting close and close to the top of the charts, very close to a win, and it's going to happen every now and then. So how important was that to you on the development as a driver?
I think running more and more official races, getting closer to other cars, being more comfortable racing around other cars, gets me prepared for practice racing with us, our guys, and then be more official racing. And then I'm probably crazy, but I'm here a lot, and it helps. But then it makes it all the more bitter when you get involved in an accident, knowing that I put all that time that week. But overall, it does help me get more comfortable racing other guys, and at any track, really. Racing side by side for lap after lap with somebody in an official race will help me do the same thing in our league race, and I've done it before and made the pass a couple times. So I mean, my time's coming.
Yeah, we talk about, when I race up front, guys are better drivers, and there's a chance that I'm not going to get wrecked if, like, I'll be racing in the back of the pack. Guys forget that the more to the front you go, the faster everybody is, but not because they're so much better drivers, they have so much better cars. More often than not, those guys are putting everything that they have, and they're driving extremely close to the edge. So at the same time that they're gonna be faster, it's gonna be harder to drive up front, you pay the price sometimes because they are close to the edge and they're on the edge of losing control. So it can go both ways very fast.
Yeah, prime example of that is me at Indy last week. I was running second and I started 6th. It was a green flag, worked my way up there, and I was just giving it everything I had, and I overdrove it, you know. I mean, it can happen in a heartbeat where you just lose the car or wreck it. So, I mean, you're really not safe anywhere unless you're the leader, in my opinion.
Well, and even then, because we saw leaders, all of a sudden the guy just spun out, or something that happens with the leader fighting for position. They're like, oh, there's no way they're going to crash. They're fighting for the lead. They're not going to do something stupid, and all of a sudden, the whole thing goes to shit. So, but that's racing. So, Nick, just one more thing. We didn't have a chance to ask you. Who do you think wins and Watkins Glen?
In our race?
Yeah.
I gotta go with...
I'm putting you in the spot.
No, I'm fine with being put on the spot. I was listening on Twitch before. I mean, you gotta go Kevin or or Colin. Those, and I'm just gonna put all my drivers in that boat because actually, you know what I'm gonna say? Dalen's been working hard on that set for a while for the Glen. I don't know if it's gonna, I know. He'll be able to. We've seen it before. He's been good at the Glen, and he goes to the Glen every year, so he knows that track probably better than all of us. That's his home track, and I mean he's going to be driven to get it done.
Yeah, we were
not
going to
saying he'll win, but he'll get a good run.
We were going to talk about this, and Anthony, I think this is the perfect cue for us to enter in this thing. We had in the past couple of weeks a rookie takeover in this league at ECR, where I can say from a month back, we had guys starting to join midway through the season, both at Cup, Xfinity, and now in the trucks, where we've seen guys coming in with 2-3 starts. They're fighting for the wins and getting wins. What the hell is going on? Where is this coming from?
Well, it's a lot of recruiting. A lot of guys are hearing about us. They're hearing about the good racing. They're hearing about the competition that's here. And obviously, if you enjoy good competition and good racing in a good structured league, with all the stuff that we have, of course you'd be interested in it. And the more and more guys that hear about it, the word spreads, and they get interested, and then they get their buddies in, and who are just as fast, if not faster. And so word of mouth, man, spreads pretty quick, I gotta say. I mean, that's the off season. Built us 75%, I want to say, of rookies for the Cup Series. So a lot of rookies, a lot of guys who just, they came in this year, man. They're all rookies, a lot of them, and a lot of them are really fast. Yet, a good stat, no rookie leads the points. Veterans still have more wins, but that might change soon. You never know. In every series, I mean, it could change here. So that's something that you never know, man.
Yeah, we had guys coming. Not gonna say not rookie to racing, but rookie to ECR, and we had guys coming in a Cup and winning races like Matthew did from the beginning of the year. We had guys like John Schweiker,
Mark Figueroa,
Stephen Hollinsworth, Mark Figueroa. We had guys coming in at ECR previous in the year, but the same guys that I just mentioned. Now we have guys in the trucks that is now our entry series. Guys like Ronnie Norman, guys like Jay Hatchett, guys like Nate Lacombe. Guys that are coming in and they're
real fast.
Really fast. Thomas Keane is another example that race up front, battling with Steven the entire race and almost got a win. So, and now we have 2 more new recruits coming in this week in Kenny Bailey and Kenny Paul, the Kenny duo. They're going to be joining this group. So I think what you said was perfect. This just shows like good things spread a lot fast than guys just being pissed. So if we're doing something good, guys are going to tell other guys about it. And I think this is just going to grow. Dalen Barr is an example of a guy that's here, consistent, fast, joins the practice, and we're probably going to, depending on what happened, he might be cleared to race a Cup, depending on what happens. John Cotto is another example. Got the pole at the Xfinity Series race at Indianapolis. If it wasn't for a couple connection issues and issues with his wheel, he was going to be fighting for the win with you guys. So this is shaping up to be one hell of an off season for us, because all of these guys are going to be here, and they were probably going to continue to drive next year. Most of these guys wanting to drive different series. Guys running truck right now wanting to drive Xfinity Cup. That's going to open up. Our offseason is going to be a beast, man.
You have a lot of guys who are running all these series, guys who are running certain series. Some of them aren't qualified to run in the truck series. So a lot of veterans who run in the Cup are also running in the trucks, but that doesn't put them out of the points. It just they're in their own section, because pretty much if you're not qualified to run for the championship, then you weren't given the 1,000-point boost. So them guys that are eligible, they got a 1,000-point boost. They're running for it. Ron's leading, but our very own Corey Chaffin here is leading. Mr. No Fucks Given is leading the non-contenders for the championship, for the non-championship, if you want to call it that. I mean, how does that even feel right now?
All I can say Because if it finishes that way at the end of the year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's still a couple million to finish there. So I'll take that over a championship if I have to. So
It's still early, bud. I'm kidding.
Money, money.
You can't buy championships.
Well, unless you're Jim Johnson. Yeah.
Unless you're. Oh,
I'm sorry.
You see what Brad
I had to say it.
this weekend.
Oh boy.
All right. If we start this, there's no win. You know that
Well,
we're
right,
not going to have.
what's
You
our
know
next
what I'll ask you guys? This is something that I've really been wanting to ask guys for a while, and I can give you guys time, but we're going to roll through everybody, and because I really want to know, man. It's something that's been grinding my gears, and I really want to know what grinds your gears. And well, I guess I'm going to start it off by starting off with guys not taking practice seriously. Had it brought up to me earlier, and you know, I feel myself that just guys are coming into practice unprepared already, and I know practice is to try to get prepared, but there's a practice before the race to do that. And they come in and they're causing EOLs, and I think that with the new rule changes, we should see an improvement in that, and I really hope that we get a better turnout as well. We need a better turnout for the practices. We have nice turnouts on race day. Don't take race day away. We're doing real good, 25, 30 plus race day, but when it comes to these practices, we need to have more guys show up so that we can improve it and take it more seriously. That's what grinds my gears. Chaffin, man. I need to ask you, man. What grinds your gears?
Well, since you asked, man, what really grinds my gears, you know, sometimes somebody has an issue with somebody, but they're too chicken shit to talk to the person that they have an issue with. So, you know, they have to go around talking to their buddies or, you know, just talking to somebody else when they have an issue. Whether, you know, whatever it might be, instead of talking to the person that it's about. That's what really grinds my gears.
I hear you, man. Anybody else want to speak on that? That's a good one.
I really hate it.
I don't know what he said.
I think it's shady or something.
Call me deaf, baby.
Yeah,
It
Sean.
definitely is shady.
Hey, Sean, what grinds your gear?
Y'all know what grinds my gears?
I want to know what grinds your gears, baby.
Alright, no, that doesn't grind my gears. That actually makes my gears turn a little better. What grinds my gears is when you're on the last lap of a race and people, I'm going to say people, I'm not going to say names, run out of gas, go to the bottom of the racing line, get pushed by someone else, and then come up in the middle of the racing line and cause a big wreck coming out of the last turn. That's what grinds my gears.
That would grind my gears too, man. I gotta all you
I'm
guys.
so
These are
grinding.
good.
They were grinding so hard, I think they damn near stopped.
We gotta get some lube for these gears because they are
we
grinding.
need some major Kool-Aid up in that gear system right there, I tell you what.
Luis, do you got anything that grinds your gears?
I do. And this is very personal to me. I need to say it.
Then we get the small violin out and play a sad song for him when he does
No,
this.
it's sad because I'm not going to say people talking shit about my Dallas Cowboys because that goes without saying. So that goes, that is a free one. But,
Pussy.
yeah.
Got a cold.
Pussy boy.
Get some more mayonnaise for their because they're grinding too much. I'm gonna. This is something that I don't know why guys don't do it, but my opinion is it requires a lot of self-discipline and a lot of analysis of itself. And guys, sometimes they don't have the guts to admit that they're wrong. What grinds my guts sometimes is if you're driving and you cause a caution and you know you did something stupid, right? And you wreck someone and you know you're not supposed to be diving into that turn and you went high and you touched someone and you took the guy out. Be a fucking man. And yes, I did say that, so no beeping here. So,
Yeah.
be a man. And come on the microphone because we know you have a microphone. and just say, you know what? That was me. My bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Instead of, oh, yeah, I was in the middle. I was in my lane, and then something happened, and I don't know. Because excuses like, oh yeah, my wheel died. Oh yeah, my pedals got into a haywire. Oh, I forgot to shift. Oh, a bat just flew into my room. Oh, my dog was barking. Oh, I don't know. I got distracted.
My fire alarm went off.
My fire alarm went off.
We got 3 more people to get to.
So,
All right, Luis, you're done.
and
What's
that's,
next?
and that's everything I have to say about it.
Number 97, the Weenus.
Steven, are you going to tell us what grinds your gears?
He's not paying attention.
I'll tell you what
And what type of
gears.
lube can we use to get him not grinding?
Hey, what?
I don't know. Anyways, Wallace's mom's got it. Anyways,
Ooh, okay, there you go.
what?
Oh, see, there we go.
What's a little
So
funny about what
discreet
Luis just
about
said?
that.
My girlfriend accidentally just turned off my TV while I was in an Iowa race just now in the
That
middle
would
of the
grind my
track.
gears.
But anyways, what grinds my gears is I put a shitload of practice laps in. I've done it all season for the most part, and I've really cared about Xfinity for the most part. And then to get there on race day and to be taken out by a freaking knucklehead that hasn't practiced, or just don't know how to handle their car. And I'm not naming anybody in particular. It grinds my gears because I feel like the points battle could be closer for a lot of guys if this didn't happen. And a lot of guys that bust their butt every week, they don't get what they deserve out of all that effort. They don't get a...
Well, that's racing for you, though.
Yeah, but...
You can put in the most laps and still come in last. You can be like me, who comes and puts in 10 laps and gets a top 10 every fucking week.
Yeah,
the way
I've
it
tried
is.
that strategy lately. But still, it grinds my gears. I feel like if you're going to race and you're going to race hard and you're going to try to race the same line or the same way the guy that's put in all kinds of practice laps, know your shit, because obviously you don't. You know what I mean?
The
It
Rock
shows.
said it best when he said, know your role, jabroni.
There you go.
And shut your mouth. All right.
Wallace, man. We got you and Nick Olson here, but Wallace, I really want to know, man, because we don't get to hear it often, and put it on my mind. What grinds your gear?
I'll tell you what grinds my gears. These Caitlyn Jenner and my mom jokes. That's what grinds my gears.
That's what your mom said last night.
He's not wrong.
Like Steven just said, get the lube for the gears.
What's your lube, Wallace?
What?
What's your lube?
This is going way off track.
No, hold on. We haven't got to that chapter with Wallace yet, so we can't talk about that.
Well,
That's next chapter.
Pass.
Thank
for
you.
those of you that don't know at home, we do have a Madden League, and Wallace ended up winning the Super Bowl in that
AKA
league.
Kool-Aid Man.
The name of that league was Wallace's mom. So we appreciate that.
So he won his own mom's Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
Well,
won
the-
it twice.
The funniest part about that was, as soon as he won, he said, "I won my mom."
He did say he won his mom,
Nick,
but I won her heart, though.
Nick, I know you've been thinking, man, you've been thinking long and hard, which is something you might not be used to, no pun intended. So, what grinds your gear?
What really grinds my gears is me not getting the respect I deserve sometimes. Sometimes jokes go just a tad bit too far, and honestly I'm not too fond of it.
We need you to explain.
And sometimes people are serious, and they mean it, and they're still dicks to me.
We need you to
Wow.
go farther into this issue.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I need to though.
Do you
Okay,
feel
Nick.
like ECR handles its issues? Like when there are issues, do you feel like they are handled?
Ask Wallace.
No. Yeah,
Now, see, if you're gonna talk about people taking jokes or whatever,
I think
Me
Wallace takes it the
and
hardest.
Wallace are the two guys who get the most crap thrown at them.
I'd say
We gotta be
more.
dicks to vaginas.
Now we're getting suspended. Now we're going to hell.
Now, see,
I
I
was
just
joking.
blow off jokes.
Gotta be Dixie.
So that's what really
Oh, my
grinds my gears.
Ladies and gentlemen, ECR Hubs, grind your gears. We'll try to get that every episode. Luis?
What's next?
It.
Sponsored by mayonnaise. There he goes.
Sure.
So
You haven't put that shit on everything.
You know, we do have Nick here. We might as well use him for this next section here. With the driver owner changes that happened here recently in ECR, we do have a couple changes. Obviously, we have team owners and drivers who are contracted into their rides, and things happen. And you know, you can trade drivers like I did. You can sign new guys, release them. Sometimes, though, you just say screw it all and sell the team and merge. And Colin Fern, our Xfinity Series points leader, he had a Cup team in the Cup Series there. He had a Cup team and merged with Young Gun Racing. Nick Olson owns that team and brought along those drivers. So now I believe you're a 4-car team.
Yeah, we were a 4-car team already, and then we were always both looking for drivers. So it only made sense to just come together and we'll get some more wins.
Oh yeah.
Short and sweet to the point.
That's all there is to it. The track performance will show the rest.
damn. There you go.
I mean, we got a bunch of guys who. There is a crazy schedule coming up here, and you know, have you guys been preparing for these road courses?
Well, I'm gonna take my approach like I do every week and just show up 10 minutes for the race and come in top 10.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to really run on the road course yet. Once the fixed races change tomorrow, I'll go do more road course racing, and everybody else will too. We'll do practices and stuff, I'm sure, this week, and we'll get there.
Could be interesting.
I know I'm going to need a lot of practice. And this time we don't have 2 weeks like we have from Sonoma, where we had a week of break in the middle and we could practice. So this time is going to be different. It's going to be one hell of a week of practice, starting probably the moment our race on Tuesday ends at Pocono. So
the good thing is about the Xfinity is you get 3 of them, all 3 done in 4 weeks. So you'll be kind of used to the road courses or whatever by.
I do think we throw a small track in there too.
Yes, it sounds like hell.
No, there's Michigan.
We throw a Bristol.
Hell on fire.
Bristol's after them too.
It's more of the Xfinity schedule this month that is going to be really hectic. Cup schedule is less hectic. You'll get 3 road courses up ahead in the Xfinity series, and Bristol in there as well.
3 and 4 weeks.
yeah, we go from this Monday, Iowa. Then we have Watkins Glen next week. Mid-Ohio the week after. Bristol and Road America. So 5
Then
races.
we go to Darlington, which is no easy track at all.
Darlington, Richmond, Chicagoland, Kentucky, Dover, Charlotte, Kansas. We have a week off, and to finish everything off, Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead.
I thought Xfinity went to Michigan.
There is no lax tracks in there. They're operating
is-
high pace.
Yeah, that is the gauntlet from now to the end of the year.
A lot of feuds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Michigan that's the week that Xfinity goes to Mid-Ohio. For our Cup Series, since we're talking schedules, we go Watkins Glen next week, Michigan, Bristol, Darlington, Richmond, Chicagoland, New Hampshire, Dover, Charlotte, Kansas, Talladega, Martinsville, Texas, Phoenix, and Miami. That is the challenge from us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races, 6 weeks before the end of the season, before the end of qualifying for everybody. So Pocono, a triangle. Watkins Glen, a road course.
A boot.
Michigan, a 2-mile track, fast as hell.
210
Bristol,
miles an hour.
a half-a-mile track, slow as hell. Darlington, that doesn't
Good
look
luck.
like anything except Darlington. And Richmond, where everything can go to hell in a turn. That's your luck, guys. So good luck qualifying for the chase if you need points
Glad I'm not racing Cup.
in one of these things. So
Oh, you'll find out if that's a good one.
so
They're good teams.
Well, I think we cover every racing possible aspect that we had.
Absolutely.
Now to the good stuff.
Now let's go to the good stuff.
Boys,
Yes,
I
sir.
got a list here. We definitely have competition, diversity. Always in ECR, it's one thing that we have is competition and diversity. And amongst this group here, we have a bunch of different teams. Me and you are the only team, pretty much, that we like the same team, me and you, and everybody else likes different teams, and nobody else is the same.
He's referring to NFL.
Yeah, when we're talking teams, we're talking about the only other sport that matters outside motor racing, that is football.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's
About
ball?
the NFL team, man,
Next time for
because
first place.
as everybody knows, ECR has an NFL league on Madden. We do a fantasy, we do the real teams, and we also have the NFL.com where we do the fantasy league for fantasy. We're doing the draft there as well. And we have a money league this year. So we take football very seriously as well. Elite Football League is what we call that one, the EFL. So we'll take the time on ECR Hub just to have some fun, because football is approaching here next week. Our first game with the Steelers there. Who I think
Sunday.
will probably win that. Yeah. We got Wallace with the Colts, man. He likes the Colts. Joshua Wallace is a big Colts fan, likes Andrew Luck, and he'll tell you that Andrew Luck is God. There is no other one. But he's been
There is no
spoiled.
God but Allah.
He's had Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck his whole life. He's young. Sean Ledison likes the Detroit Lions. He does live in Michigan, so you know it's
Represent.
fair. Lions fan. Corey Chaffin, you know, he lives in California, so it's fair. Oh wait, no, he doesn't live in California, so it's not fair. He's a Raiders fan. I guess he's just used to losing. Oakland Raiders fan, Corey Chaffin.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure the Dallas Cowboy fans are used to living in the past of 1995, watching them fucking Super Bowls on VHS. What?
Playoffs were last year, but we haven't won our division.
Super Bowl, bud. All right.
We the bud.
Talking about Super Bowls, no VHS, all right?
We got two more guys.
TV
here
wasn't
before we
invented when the
really
Raiders
get
won
to
the
it,
Super Bowl.
guys.
Remember
Stephen
the time.
Massey has the best team of all, of course. He knows that they're going straight to the Super Bowl. Tennessee Titans, everybody. Tennessee Titans, everybody.
No.
Yeah, they
Who's
already
that?
bought tickets.
Nick Olson will tell you that God is Geno Smith in the New York Jets.
He's
And,
gone.
He's no longer here.
No
He's
longer
dumb
here.
as a rock.
He's just like the team of the Jets. I mean, I don't even think they matter anymore. You got the deflated gate over there, so we all know they're going to
And
win.
he
that.
wanders why he's the butt of a bunch of jokes.
Can
who's
we
the
get
Titans?
confirmation on the Jets actually being a real football team and not a AA team?
No, we can't do
No,
that.
we can't. We can't.
No.
Well, and
People
me
can't find them on
being
the internet.
in New
On the
England
internet.
right now, I can definitely say that no, they're not a team. Yes.
You know what? This is a great thing to ask Siri. Who are the New York Jets?
Looking for the New York Jets.
She can't find the
She-
New York Jets.
even-
She found
even-
the roster, but the team's missing apparently.
Even Siri doesn't know where the Jets are. So yeah,
You
they're
only
in a
find
good
the
shape.
roster,
They're in good shape.
which has nobody on it apparently. Interesting.
Well then.
Just to finish this up and let everybody start vomiting in their houses, because now we started talking about football, and now people are really gonna get angry and we're gonna start fighting. Wallace, point blank, how many games your Colts and God luck are gonna win this year?
And give us a reason why.
I say 11 to 13 because I think that offense is going to be like the greatest show on turf.
What? You have any facts that support that?
Yes,
Well, they
Andrew
got-
Luck.
Andrew Luck,
There you go.
Eli Hilton, Frank Gore, Andre Johnson,
Uh,
Colt
no.
Dorsett,
Now I got to point out a fact here.
Chris
Now,
Carter's
see-
son.
I have to ask Wallace this. Hey Wallace, does deflated balls play defense?
But we're not talking about last year, bud.
So deflated balls do play defense. 10-4.
No,
There you go.
I know we wouldn't have won that game. We were outmatched from the get-go.
He's not wrong.
Well, I cannot comment. I cannot comment on deflated balls because I live in New England, so that's not fair. So, moving on.
How many wins?
Chaffin,
I said
how many wins the Miami Raiders? Amari
Miami
Cooper,
Raiders.
Derek Carr.
We don't know where they are either.
And I don't know. Well, Khalil Mack
Who else
doesn't
do you
play offense because he's not J.J. Watt.
Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese is like a bowling ball. Jesus Christ.
He's a good tight end.
He's Chapin's bowling ball.
He's fatter than I am. It's how many over or under? The Raiders win 8 games.
I think potentially they go over. I think. One thing that a lot of people get wrong about Jack Del Rio's time in Jacksonville is he was a good coach. The one piece that they really had missing at the
quarterback
was the quarterback position. If you look all down the boards on the teams that he helped make, he had everything from running back on down that he was able to help draft and bring to that team. I think one of the biggest things that's going to help him get over the hump is the culture that he's trying to bring. But the one thing that could hurt us is the defensive backs, which, we got Charles Woodson. He's getting older. Obviously, he's not getting younger.
He's aging.
But he still makes plays for that defense. He's pretty much what Brian Dawkins was for them Eagles years ago. But I got a fun fact for you, and I use this against Wallace all the time. Statistically, Derek Carr had a better rookie season than Andrew Luck, and that's a fact.
Andrew Luck had more firepower.
Andrew Luck had a lot more wins.
He had more wins, but he also had a little bit more weapons than Carr. When you look at what Carr did, he went 21, I believe, and 11 to third stringers or worse. So
they got him some weapons.
Now, you got to remember.
With giving the guy weapons, if he does better, I think hands down he could be better than Luck.
Yeah.
All right. Massey. Tennessee Titans. Marcus the Savior Mariota, who almost didn't sign. Almost didn't sign because the Titans didn't want to put a clause in saying that he could surf. Over under. More or less than 8 games?
To be honest, I think more. I think they're going to go 9-7. You guys, Titans are going to be a surprise team this year. They're not going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to do anything like that. We have a very weak schedule to play against. Of course, 2 of those being the Colts. And then we have, I'm just kidding about the Colts. Obviously lost. Calm down. But we honestly, on defense, we added Paris Cox next to Jason McCourty. Jason McCourty was number 2 overall against number 1 wide receiver. And we had Junk for our second cornerback. Then we added Brian Arakpo, brought back Darren Morgan, and we just beefed up the defense. We also got Dorsey, who was on the Bills last year. They were beasts too. So, our defense is going to be really good with the addition of Dick Lambeau coaching them. We'll have Zach Brown back to hit the inside with Avery Williamson. Avery Williamson got 5 sacks last year and only started a couple games. He was a rookie. And then our offensive line's better. We got Marcus Mariota. We brought in David Cobb, who's a power back, which is what we needed. And I don't know. I see it's going good. We're gonna get 9 wins.
No.
I'm gonna have to make the joke. You started mentioning names. I don't know anybody except Mariota. I guess that's what makes it a surprise team. There you go.
Now before we go to somebody else, I gotta say, the Titans will lose November 29th in Tennessee.
Who are they playing?
The Oakland Raiders.
There you go.
I just gotta say,
I'll put a bet on that.
Let's see. You think Tennessee's better than Houston and Jacksonville?
By far, yes, on Jacksonville, and Houston, yes, because they don't have a quarterback. They really don't. Brian Mallett.
They still won 9 games last year.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick's the proven-ish winner.
Well,
no.
He broke his leg.
Go Lions, Michigan man, Matthew Stafford, Megatron.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I forgot the name of the tight end.
Ebron.
Golden Tate. No Ndamukong Suh. No Nick Fairley. No, anybody in the defense.
Tough loss.
Over under 8 victories.
You know, I'm sitting here looking at this schedule right now, and I think the Lions have one of the top 5 hardest schedules in the NFL. I mean, reversing into Broncos, Seahawks, Cardinals, Chiefs, Packers twice. The Eagles, I don't know what the Eagles are. They're kind of iffy. The Rams have one of the best defenses in the league. 49ers, you don't know what they're going to be like this year with other people retiring on them. But you versus the Raiders, that's a win for us. Throwing that out there. I mean, I'd be happy with 9 to 10 wins, I believe. Schedule kind of scares me, to be honest with you.
You think they're going to make the playoff?
The schedule. Chargers, Vikings, Broncos, Seahawks, Cardinals, Bears, Vikings, Chiefs, Packers, Raiders, Eagles, Packers, Rams, Saints, 49ers, Bears.
Now, even for like the best team in the NFL, that's a tough schedule.